I'm very excited that I'm getting ready to make potato latkes for Hannukah. They're also known as potato pancakes. So this is a traditional dish made every year at Hannukah time. Of course, all the kids love it, the grandkids love it, and that's why I do it. So my ingredients are russet potatoes. I probably have about 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes. This is just a small batch that we're making right now. Probably gonna make 3 or 4 of these batches in the next few days. So it just calls for about 1.5 pounds of potatoes, 1 extra large egg, 1 onion about that size, kosher salt, pepper, and the secret ingredient, matzah meal. Okay, we need that instead of flour for authentic potato latkes. So we're just gonna start peeling. Okay, it's time. We peel the potatoes and I'm just gonna cut them into small pieces so that when they go in the blender won't have a really hard time doing the job. I'm just wiping them off so they don't have excess water. Cutting, sort of quartering them and then cutting them into bite-sized pieces. I'll get another bowl with the potatoes that are cut. That way I have more room on the cutting board. I'm very excited about this because next week we'll have company for Hannukah. This will be one of the dishes that we serve for appetizer. And also my grandson Ezra, who is in 3rd grade, his teacher sent me an email and she asked me if I would make these for a Hannukah party in her classroom at school. So she knows I like to cook, so she sent me an email and I said, yes, of course I will. So on Tuesday, I will make a batch of these fresh and I will bring them to my grandson's classroom, and then I will read a Hannukah story and we'll play traditional dreidel game in the class, and then we will have the potato pancakes or the latkes with applesauce, which is what is traditional. So this is just about 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes, organic potatoes from Whole Foods, my favorite supermarket, which I just love. Amazon bought Whole Foods and I was worried that it was going to change, but it did not change. It stayed the same great supermarket that it was. In fact, it might even be a little better. Okay, now just 1 onion. Just going to quickly peel it and cut it into pieces. As fast as possible so I don't have to cry too much. About the same size pieces as the potato, pretty uniform. And now we are ready to go. I'll just leave these on here. Okay, ready for the blender. So I need a little bit of liquid. So first in goes my egg. Just want to make sure that the bottom is screwed on well. Yes. Egg, need a little bit of liquid. So the egg goes in first. I'm starting to cry a little. Oh, I have a little bit of egg white left over here. Ooh. Okay, now in some potato. In some onion. Turn it on. It's going to be very loud. So has a hard hard time blending, so I sort of turn the liquid upside down, and then I start it again. Now it's okay. So I'm going to show you what it should look like. It looks like almost like liquid, but a little too thin, but that's going to change after we get more potatoes in. More potato, a little more onion. Here we go. Done. This is what it looks like. Pour it in. Pour my batter in. This is my matzo meal. Matzo meal, just flour. Really, it's just ground up flour. About 1/4 cup. And now I need a teaspoon of salt, kosher salt. Maybe I need about 1/8 teaspoon of ground pepper. Tiny bit more pepper. It's about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And now I'm ready. I'm just going to get a spatula, mix it all together. Now I know what it should look like, and I think it's a little too thin. So because of that, I'm going to add about another 1/4 cup of the matzo meal. You have to eyeball it and figure out like what the correct thickness is of the batter. Okay, now it's going to be fine. So I could have just started out with the 1/2 cup. This is it. Okay, now go over to the stove. Using what my mother did, Mazola corn oil, and my grandmother. This is the brand that most Jewish people liked back in the day. And just coat the bottom. Now we have to wait. Till it gets good and hot. Have to just wait till this gets hot enough. So what gives it the great flavor is the onion. The onion mixing in with the potato gives it that amazing flavor. And see if it's hot enough. Just a nice, these are gonna be, ooh, that's it. That's the sizzle. They're not going to be that big. They're sort of like little miniature potato pancakes. Okay, some of these are getting ready to be able to be turned. They're almost ready. When they start getting really brown around the edges, you know that the time is coming close. But if you try to turn them too soon, they'll stick. You don't want them sticking. I've also made these many times in a non-stick pan, but non-stick pans have more chemicals, so I try to use pans that are just stainless steel and nothing else. It's still sticking a little bit. Okay, here we go. This one won't be. There you go. Flipping. This one is pretty much ready. This is exactly what they should look like. This one? Okay, this is good. I'm just checking to see on the bottom. And they're nice and brown. That one is nice and brown. Onto some paper towels to drain. So this is what they're all ready. And let these drain on paper towels. Take them over here. And this is what you eat it with. You can eat it with sour cream. A lot of people like to eat it with sour cream. This is the most amazing brand of sour cream, Daisy sour cream, because the only ingredients in this is cultured cream. That's it. There's no additives. Or applesauce, of course, Whole Foods, organic, unsweetened applesauce. So some people like to dip their potato pancakes into the applesauce. Some people like to dip it into the sour cream. If you dip it into sour cream, it's like eating a potato chip with sour cream and onion dip. That's what it actually tastes like. So I'm just going to taste one to see how they came out. So they're supposed to be crunchy on the outside and sort of a little gooey on the inside with a lot of flavor, let's say. So if you listen, you probably hear a crunch. Inside is creamy. The outside is crunchy. The closest way I can describe it to something more traditional is hash browns. It's like eating a hash brown patty. That is so amazing. Bye. Enjoy.